Good evening. Happy Monday. Monday is my favorite day of the week. Um, why? I don't know. I've always liked Mondays. I feel like Monday's like, yes, it's a fresh start. Let's get this
Mm-hmm.
Monday going. So, conveniently, all of our talks so far mostly have been on Monday.
Yay!
But we had a discussion on Saturday, which was amazing with my sister Danielle,
Mm-hmm.
my bestie in
Mm-hmm.
your area. And it was about sisterhood and dating. And so many people gave great feedback, they gave great insight about their own journey. And then also, we shared our personal stories. So, if you want to know the tea about me and my dating experience and how my husband and I met online, listen to last week's on your YouTube link. And don't forget to subscribe and share. So today we have none other than the one and only Shirley Gore.
Ba,
I'm
ba, ba,
working,
ba, 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 ba.
yeah, I'm working on sound effects, so just
Okay.
bear.
I got you.
I haven't got there yet. I'll figure it out.
Yes, baby step.
Um, so today's topic is the power of sisterhood. Now I've made about 17 topics for this. It was like sisterhood and her story and all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna go with the power of sisterhood
Mm-hmm.
because everyone likes that. So
Yeah.
Shirley is my friend that I've known for a few years, but feels like forever.
Yes.
So we're going to just have a discussion about sisterhood. We're going to give you some insight, share a little bit about our journey. We had great feedback from our last live that we did in
Mm-hmm.
October, I believe.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And we ended the year on sisterhood, and people were very encouraged of the importance of having friends
Yeah.
that the importance of having female friends
Mm-hmm.
and what that means. And I think I'm double blessed because I have godly sisters in my life who are discerning, who have wisdom. Shirley pretends to be a little bit older than me, but I'm the older younger sister, if you want, if that's a thing.
Right.
So, anyways, so glad you could join us tonight, Shirley. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Delisha. It's always a pleasure to share like time and space with you. So thank
Awesome. Likewise, likewise. So we have our Instagram family. I know it's a little bit of a delay because I always forget to click the button. But, anyways, thank you guys for being here as well. And if you have comments or questions, put them down in the comment section and we will share those and give you a shout out when you come in. Let us know where you're from. So, Shirley, I didn't give you a bio intro, but can you tell us a little bit about who you are and why you have such a passion for sisters?
I am Shirley Gore from Suffolk, Virginia, currently living in Los Angeles, California, which is where Delisha and I began our powerful sisterhood at a sisterhood conference or brunch. So, the irony in that, right?
Yeah.
So, I am one of seven. I'm the fifth child of seven, and I have two sisters. And so, sisterhood was a thing, has been a thing growing up as a child. And I'm the baby girl, and I'm the middle child, which sort of kind of put me in a very interesting position, right? Of what about me?
Hmm.
That fifth child, lives in a perpetual state of what about me, that middle child. And so as I got older, I was like, let's create this sisterhood for yourself, right? A lot of your family, when you get older, is not necessarily blood, right? It's
Yes,
people
exactly.
that you've picked up along the way. And so I have always been on the hunt for other women, right, that had sisters in their family, but still needed that sister because there was a gap between the age of my sisters were in college while I was still in the house with my brothers. And so I really did have to look for other women to become my sisters. And so I am now have a nonprofit called Go Back and Get Your Sisters, where I am on the hunt for women that are looking for other sisters and mending those relationships. And so I think you and I are in alignment in that way. Everybody you come in contact with, Alicia, it's they either need you to pray for them, they need you to provide them with a resource. They need, you know what I mean? And you're able to pull all of that off, but through sisterhood and making
Yes.
relationships.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Thank you for sharing a little bit
Yeah.
about who you are. And there's so much more to Shirley. She tried to be nice and give this little professional bio,
Yes.
but we'll try to pull the tea out as we talk.
Yes.
Hello, husband. Mr. Brown is saying
Hey,
hey to
Mr.
you,
Brown.
Shirley. Thank you for streaming. Thank you, everyone that is streaming and you're being secretive and won't share who you are, so I won't blast you, but we see you. Thank you. Thank you for the hearts and the love.
Yes.
And one thing I wanted to talk about, as you mentioned, we were at a women's brunch,
Mm-hmm.
empowerment, something of the such.
Mm-hmm.
But it was in the community, but we really didn't feel like there was community. How can women answer the call to being a community member? Like you and I, we lived in the same city and we had the same mission to help sisters. But how can women who are like you created your own sisters because yours were, there was an age difference and
Mm-hmm.
you didn't have them necessarily in arm's length. So those people who don't have their sisters or don't, maybe an only child, don't even have a
Yeah.
sister, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe just all had all brothers. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How can they create that where they are?
Hmm. I believe in setting intentions, right? We talked about this the last time. Like we had both set intentions for that day that we met.
Hmm.
I'm going to be open. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to be loving in spite of whatever's going on. I'm not going to project, like all of those things I was thinking, right? Because when you go into a space where you know there's going to be more than two women, you're
Yeah.
automatically judging yourself. Am I going to look okay? Am I going to, what is this? Is my hair okay? Is my makeup? And I just went out there saying, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to meet somebody and we're going to become friends. You know what I mean? I put myself out there
Hmm.
and I didn't judge myself, which means I didn't go in the room judging others. That's so
Important.
important. That's so important because everybody's going through something. So when you show up with that a level of vulnerability and care and compassion, it exudes. It's an aroma, and that's the type of people you will attract. So setting
Exactly.
intentions.
Yeah, set your intentions. Don't go into the room judging others. I think us also, you individually being prepared, like you attract who you are, you attract what you desire, you attract
Yes.
what you want. So when you are, when you exemplify joy or happiness, or even just simply smiling,
Yep.
I know that I have a resting face. We're going to just leave it at that. And I would just sit there like, but I'm not, there's nothing involving anyone on the outside. Like I'm just sitting or
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking or I'm
Mm-hmm.
on to the next part of my day or life.
Mm-hmm.
And someone's
Mm-hmm.
like, whatever. But I try to, as much as possible when I'm in a place or at a venue to make sure I'm making eye contact and smiling.
Yes.
For some people, that actually is a greeting, but for others, it can be intimidating. So
Yes.
knowing how to approach certain people, like you observe them from afar and you're kind of like, they seem to turn away when you're like directly looking at them. So kind of smile, look away,
Mm-hmm.
and come
Yep.
back. Those are small things that make a large impact because then they feel seen
Yep.
without you actually blasting them. And
Yep.
look at me, I'm talking. It's just
Yeah. And even just being here, being present, right? Present enough to say, girl, I like them shoes.
yes,
Oh, your hair looks good, because we can look at a woman and tell what she spent most of her time on. Just if you can look at her makeup, you can look at her outfit. So if you say, girl, you them lips, you did it. You know what I mean? It's like, and in that moment, it sparks. All we need, some of us, is a spark.
right.
Is a compliment. A compliment you'll be 6 years into a friendship. How did y'all meet? I was in Walmart and I told her I liked her shoes.
Yes,
And then we realized that we were the same age, and then we realized we had the same birthday.
right,
There's
right, right.
synergy in that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that you don't be afraid to compliment anyone, right? And complimenting them, smiling and walking off, that is fine. You don't have to be best buddies, but it does give you a relaxation, it gives you a confidence, and it just encourages that you as well as someone else. So
Yeah.
I think that's important when you're trying to develop community. And when we're developing community, Shirley, it's important for women not only to be involved, but to also lead. So, if you don't mind sharing a little bit of how you're leading in your community, and then also how others can be encouraged to lead as women, is really, it is a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
In the world we live in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, especially if you're a minority woman,
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of minority women watching, so I would
Mm-hmm.
address that audience more. So, how do you walk in your power?
Um, I am not afraid of no.
Hmm.
And I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, "Well, I want to ask my boss for this and that." I said, "Let him tell you no." And so that has been my superpower of going in and being like, "No is not the worst thing you could say to me."
Yeah,
So I that is a superpower for me. Tell me no so I can move on to the next person, place, or thing. And so I think that going into the community is how you build the community. Showing up at least twice a week. I remember one of the first events that I did in Los Angeles that you were able to come out for was literally me going to the MLK
yeah,
Recreation Center and just hanging out with the kids, just hanging out. And then 6 months later, it's like, hey, can my nonprofit partner? And I
yeah.
ended up partnering with the city of LA. Like,
Hmm.
and that was just based off of me showing up and saying, hey, I want to play some basketball with the guys and I want to show these girls how to do paint or how to braid. And then that showed interest in the community and not me just showing up and taking pictures of a homeless person that I fed and posting it, but actually
That's
doing
so
the work
annoying.
in the community. And so then the community is asking for you because of how you showed up in their community. So it's
Mm,
important how you show up and that it really be for the community because so many people have been out there trying to handle them, you know what I mean, that they can smell you a mile away if you're there to use them.
talk about it. Yeah, I feel like we should just have numerous drop mics. I want to give a shout out to Shanine. Hi, sis. She said hey to us,
Hey,
Queen.
Shanine! Queen
So it's good
Shanine!
to see you, Queen. One thing that you said, the community is asking for you. I feel like that's a key phrase. I'm trying to keep up with you and type it so I can share it and remember.
Okay.
But the community is asking for you. That's how you lead. But also putting impact over income, impact over
Mm,
money. And I feel like when you do that, all money, opportunities, everything else comes. But if you don't first you went to LA, every city Shirley's been in, okay? Because I live with her in LA, but she's been in numerous cities. But
mm,
every city, I could just name a few, right? And
mm,
you've been in Virginia, in Chicago, like you've
mm.
been in these places, but people know you've been there
Yes.
because she made an impact and she immediately goes into her community. And sometimes we try to do it the other way around. Well, I'm gonna just wait till someone puts me on, or I'm
Yep.
gonna wait to be invited on a stage or to speak in a manner. And I'm a speaker. This is why I say this, because
Mm-hmm.
I choose to go after impact,
Mm-hmm.
and then I don't share none of my income. So there we go. So you don't
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm making money, what's free, what's not. And
Right.
some of the larger stages have been less money
Yeah.
and less impact, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not really dealing with the community. So I think the community, you want to get to a point to where the community is asking for you because you have put impact over income.
Yeah.
Um, Yes, the work matters, exactly, Shanae. So
Yes.
putting in that work, and you're putting in the work not for a reward, right? Like you're
Mm-hmm.
putting in
Mm-hmm.
the reward. The reward is these children are not on the streets.
Yeah.
These children are not being turning into a statistic.
Yeah.
These children are learning a trade, as you would,
Yeah.
like if you're something simple, teaching them to braid, maybe now they want to be in cosmetology. All of those things you want to make sure you're putting out there so that people not only um, get to know your name, but they get to feel your impact of who you are. So I think that's important, Shirley, definitely.
Yeah, it's because the thing about it is, Delisha, is a lot of people that are not or that are unfamiliar with the community, they come into the community giving the community what they think they should have and not that what they need.
Hmm.
And so the community is like, I don't need no water. We have I my baby needs socks. So why did you drop off 65 cases of water? when you know what I mean, when my baby needs Pampers. So if I get a baby to water and the baby be on themselves, and there's no Pampers, then
Now
you
I'm mad
gonna
at the
need.
water.
So it's important to listen to what the community is asking for, which means you have to go inside of that community and hear them talking amongst themselves and see where the deficiency is, and then fill in those gaps and not try to come in giving people what you think they should have.
Exactly. You don't want to get, you want to, I feel like you can't even serve the community. It's kind of like when you hear about politicians, and we won't make this political at all, but when they come out of nowhere and everyone's running for office, and you're like, I've never heard of you a day in my life. Like, I've never seen you at anything in my community.
Yep.
And now it's like, I want to represent you guys. It's like, I don't think so, because,
And how do I know you again?
right. It's like, because the only thing I've seen was your commercial. Like, I
Yes.
literally don't know you. And I've been at events with you and I still don't know you because you didn't make an effort to be known.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, yeah. So another thing is, what is your definition? I know you asked people online earlier, like, what is their definition of sisterhood? And people said numerous things of, my closest friend, someone who's going to be there for me all the time, etc. What is Shirley's definition of sisterhood?
It is fluid.
Mm,
And I'm going to tell you why, because each sister is different. And so, our definition of sisterhood, Delisha, can be I'm there for Shirley if she needs me before 8 p.m.
mm,
And Shirley knows that. So Shirley gets to respect that. And so if Shirley needs a sister, then she gets to choose the sister that doesn't have the boundary of 8 p.m. It doesn't make Delisha a bad friend.
right.
It means that Delisha has boundaries that cannot be penetrated by anybody. And so it's becoming more fluid, the definition of sisterhood. And really, the overarching effect is a sister that I feel safe around,
Mm,
and safe in my tears,
yeah.
safe in my fears, safe in my boundaries, safe in my integrity. When I don't want to move the way I moved yesterday, then it should be okay for me to change overnight. Whether it makes you feel better about who you are is not. So sisterhood, Delisha, is really, is there a sister that you feel safe with on any given day?
Mm,
It's fluid for me. And I feel safe around you at all times, whether I'm dropping off the face of the earth for 2 weeks, and I'm like, and you're like, sis, send me a smoke signal, and that's all I have to send, then I send the smoke signal. And you're okay with it. But there are some sisters that's like, no, I need you to pick up the phone because I need to hear your voice, which means it's no longer about you and it's about them.
mm. I have so many follow-up questions to that.
This is me bracing myself.
Right. We're on live, so it will be not as usual, but still usual, right?
Yes, yes.
What, how can people get there? Because I hear this almost constantly, right? Like women that are like, oh yeah, I used to have girlfriends, like sister friends and stuff, but I don't really do that. And everybody only messes with two or three people. Like
Hmm.
that's what you hear a lot. Like,
Hmm.
I'm cool with all these people, but I only really get down with two or three. And I'm not telling people to be, I always say Jesus had 12 disciples, right?
Hmm.
Those
Hmm.
were his homies. One of them was the devil, and only three he really messed with.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm a pattern my life after him.
Hmm. Hmm.
But so I'm not telling you to have 15 people be your sister, and you got to
Yes.
tell everybody this story or what happened to you.
Hmm.
But how do you develop that? Um, and I think it has to do with organic things as well. But how do you develop that, like, I guess, synergy of this is a safe space? Like it's one thing to tell people it's a safe space, but then it's another thing for that person to believe you and then step into the safe space.
You know, right off the bat, we do not trust our gut. I don't know what it is, but we have to go through the Mari clay before we say, "Oh, I did get some red flags about 6 months ago." But I knew she was going through something, and it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, but we have to be sure that we don't try to play God.
Talk about it.
She needed me. And most of that really comes from a place of being needed, wanting to be needed. And so it's so important to use your words. Like, people, a lot of my friends didn't know what it meant to hold space for me. And it's like, hold space for me means if I'm crying, don't ask me 100 times what's wrong. I'm an over communicator.
Hmm.
So if I had the words right then, I would tell you. And so it's really a matter of being completely honest. We've had some tough conversations, and you're like, sis, I love you. I'm a married woman now. So my D&D may go on at 6 p.m. if Mr. Brown is home from work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's an
yeah.
off day for him. Then these are my new boundaries
Hmm.
that I get to respect. We don't like old boundaries. We don't like new boundaries. We just don't like boundaries because then it's like, I needed you. And it's like, all I was going to do was pray for you. So
Right.
remove the middleman
Right.
and go straight to God for yourself. And so I think it's about being completely transparent about, sis, I know you needed me, but I needed me and somebody else needed me. And I did not have the bandwidth to be needed by you. Do you
Exactly.
still love me?
Right.
Because I chose me. That's all that happened.
Yeah, and I think that what we talked about last month, the power of self-love and like
Mm-hmm.
you knowing who you are, and when you know who you are, and I say this all the time, but when you have confidence and that self-confidence, it's called self-confidence for a reason.
For a
And when
reason,
you
yes.
when you have that, you move different,
Mm-hmm.
you vibe different, people respect you
Yep.
differently. Like there would be people that text me or something and say, "Oh, I know you be bit like, where are you getting that from? I never told you I was doing anything." But it's just the fact that you have, like you said, have been transparent and open, and you've been saying, "This is how I move." So
Mm-hmm.
before I even got married, like when I was just getting my master's, I remember I was on a strict uh 9 p.m. D and
Yep.
D and T. Before Do
Yep.
Not Disturb came out, I was on D and T. Like
Yes.
9 o'clock would hit, you could just call it quits. Don't call
Mm-hmm.
Delisha,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm telling you, you want to build your relationship with God. Call me after 9 because you're not gonna get me.
That's it.
And it's okay. Hey, Vernita, it's one of my besties. Um, you you basically just can't limit yourself there, because if you don't know who you are, then you don't know how to teach and show people how to care for you and how to love you, how to respect you, how to be in your life. You know what I mean? And so I
Mm-hmm.
think when we don't have those until certain things happen in our life, like certain women, you'll be talking to them and then it's like, "Oh, you're married now, so I don't talk to you." Like, but you were ignoring me, so you're going to ignore my boundaries just because I'm not married? Like, I
Yeah.
still have a boundary that I'm not available. And so I think a thing that I got from you that I stole, um, I borrowed, but that I use with my friends, some of my other friends, is I say, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" You do that quick chat. We already know, because we have a certain level of friendship. Shirley's
Yeah.
one of these friends that if I call you, you already know it's past text. So
Yeah.
let's not even go there with the
The
little.
pleasantries.
Yes, the pleasantries. So I may still, because I'm a Southern Belle, I'm gonna be polite. "Hey, how you doing? Okay, this is what's happening right now,"
Mm-hmm.
and we go right in, or we'll say, I mean, I said, now we won't go right in. Correction, we will say, "Do you have the bandwidth, or do you have the capacity to listen to me right now?" And we can both say, "Yes, I do. Hold on, let me get to a space," or "No, I do not." And we don't get mad with each other.
No.
And we say, "Okay, if you say not really, okay, that's fine. Thank you." pray about this, and we move on because we
Yeah.
still want them to be involved. We still want them to know. So we tell them, pray about XYZ,
Yeah.
and then we hang up and we move on. Because sometimes I think God is protecting us too from just telling our business all the time.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it'd be like, are you really going through? You just want to tell somebody because those are
Yes.
two different things. Like it's not really about I need this support or I need this or that. It's just it's like those people. You ever been around those people that breathe heavy?
Yes.
And you're just kind of like, that's not your normal breath.
Yes.
And then they're just kind of like, and they keep doing it. And and they're waiting for you to say, are you okay? And then they can pounce.
Yes.
But instead, you're just like, I pray all is well. Have a
Yes.
good day. And then you get up and move. And you're just like,
Yes.
why?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you have to be, I think that whole being discernful. And as you said, listening to your gut the first time, not the 17th time.
Yeah.
Like certain people, and if a lot of people pull on you, if you
Yes.
identify people who are leeches, I say voluntary or involuntary. Because
Yes.
some people be doing it on purpose. Other people
Yes.
have no idea. They just have never had a friend like you. And
Mm-hmm.
so then they're excited and they're like, ooh, when I call Shirley, she's gonna be happy when I tell her this news. Like I don't have to
Yes.
downplay who I really am. I can live and walk in my power, and they're gonna be excited. Delicia's gonna be like, that's awesome, and not like side eye, that's awesome.
Right. Right.
So I understand that, but we also have to give people space to be who they are and to be rejuvenated. I like this is almost been a year
Mm-hmm.
that I've been married now. Come and think about it. Anyways, that time flies. But
When you're having fun.
yes. So when you're like thinking of that, yes, there's people I have not talked to often or
Mm-hmm.
have minimized our communication
Mm-hmm.
because my life has changed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think giving people grace in those transitions, but then also realizing and identifying who people are. When
Yes.
you have life moments, you can realize who your real friends are. And
Yes.
those can be when you just simply do something great. You get a grant,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, great!" And there was a psychologist that talked about this. When you look at those 10 brief seconds or
Yeah.
5 seconds, it's probably not even that. It's probably half a second, and you
Yep.
see how someone's face looks and how they were about to be like, "What?" And then, "Ah, good."
Yes. It
And then
happened.
you're able to identify, okay, that's the person. And sometimes I tell people stuff on purpose
Mm-hmm.
so
That's
that I
good.
can start seeing where my friends are. Because you've been in a part of my life at a certain part doesn't mean that you have to be a part of it forever.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean that you will be a part of it in this next transition.
Correct.
And so we can still be cool with people and we don't have to be enemies and we don't have to be like, oh, such and such gonna be there. Oh, no, I ain't
Mm-hmm.
coming.
Right.
Like, no, I have nothing against them. We're just not buddies.
That's it.
But I'm cool with them from over here.
Yeah. Yeah. And even not even from over here. Like I've learned to sit with my enemies, right? Because a
Hmm.
person that was an enemy a year ago might not be an enemy this year.
Right.
And they, and an enemy, and I don't really have any enemies. They may be an enemy, but I don't really consider anybody an enemy,
Yeah.
right? It's just like you taught me a lesson. You taught me something I didn't know. God sent you. You know what I mean? And I appreciate God for that. I would have much rather it been you than this other person that I was unsure of how I really felt. So there's been a lot of times, Alicia, where I'm like, I'm so grateful God chose you to take me through these trials and tribulations. It couldn't have been nobody but you. And so that's where, like you said, that's where you figure out where your friends, where your real sisterhood is, right? And so
Hmm.
there's a lot of girls out there, Delisha, that think they're friends with you. The end. Oh, we're Delisha. I'll just see your chair. But we've had those
I'm
conversations where
still.
it's like, you're like, I haven't heard from these people until I started posting about these awards that I've gotten through
Hmm.
speaking and these gigs that I booked. We were just talking about it.
Yeah.
People that we haven't spoken to in years inboxed us both and sharing this, and we're like, "Hey, how the kids doing? How's your mom doing? I heard you had a new
Right.
baby." you know. So people are evolving, and we have to be okay with the fact that people are changing. We are changing, and who I may have had beef with or thought had beef with me, because we love to think the things about us. Oh, we love it. And it's like, step outside of yourself and be like, and like you said, look at the whole person. Look at who Shirley has consistently been. Something must be going on if Shirley didn't answer my call twice. So what
Right.
I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pray about it, and then I'm gonna ask her just to send me a smoke signal. But the smoke signal is I called you.
Mm-hmm.
The smoke signal is, oh, you can't, I see you on, well, why couldn't you? And it's like, no, I'm going through something, and you could be tipping me over the edge, or I could be on the verge of calling you to tell
Yeah.
you what's going on. And that text alone could put me over the edge. So it's important to think about the entire person, and that it's not always about you.
Right. And I think we naturally got to the other part of the question about having a tribe and then having the rules of engagement and boundaries and being a person of integrity. And that's why I don't, I think being just having integrity as an individual, right?
Yeah.
As a woman, as a child of God, you're saying, I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to move like that. I don't want to be known for that. So when it's like certain people may say certain things, and then someone else is like, that's not the Delisha I know, or that's not the Shirley I know.
Yeah.
And it's going to be one off because that's not how we move.
Yeah.
And so I think having integrity and being around people who display and function in integrity on a regular
Mm-hmm.
helps you to not even have any second guesses or questions about anything,
Mm-hmm.
because they're not going to lead you astray, right? They're not
Correct.
going to give you some crazy advice where you're just like, you possibly would go to jail doing it, not
Yeah.
lead you in a scam, because they are
Yes.
people of integrity. So it's
Yes.
like, okay, I'm going to this because you said. Now there has been times that the people have been of integrity and they just didn't have wisdom, and I went to stuff and was like, "Did you look this up?"
Right.
Because I went to the meeting and
Right.
it sounds like a Ponzi scheme,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so. And sometimes that happens. So
Hmm.
you give that, like you said, is this something that they always do, or
Yeah.
is this just a one off? Because
Hmm.
so you're not if that sister is always sending you to scammy places, you might want to reevaluate that
Yeah. You might
relationship.
want to research your research.
Right. Reevaluate your relationship with
Yeah.
that one.
And every woman that you meet and you become friends with doesn't have to be your sister.
Explain that.
It means there are women, I meet women every single day that I will stand in a grocery store and talk to them for 45 minutes and exchange numbers and say, let's go get coffee. That doesn't make her my sister. That makes her a girlfriend that I met in a grocery store that I went to have coffee with. But because we are so hungry for
Talk about it.
relationships and hungry for acceptance, and oh, well, she gave me a compliment in the grocery store that day, so that means every time I talk to her, she's going to be my compliment sister. So let
Mm,
me pull on her because I need to be verified every 20 minutes out of the day. So let me latch on to her without even telling her why I'm here. And then it makes it a really awkward situation for you to have to say, yo, the things that you like about me, 100 women a day like about me. So
mhm.
if I give 100 women my phone number the same way, when do I have the time? And especially, I tell people what I do. I'm a life coach. I have a nonprofit that does this for women. And so I don't have the time to suture you if
Right.
and you're bleeding on me and I didn't cut you.
Say it again. You're bleeding on me, and I didn't
And I
cut you.
didn't cut you. I can't suture you and know what medicines you need. And I wasn't even there at the scene of the crime. So it's like we get to know each other and then go through these myriad of tests to get you to the point where you can say, Delisha, you are my sister. You don't get to just become my sister because we
Yeah,
met in Walmart.
Target, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what sisters be, Tajay.
I'm just saying where you was at because I ain't seen Shirley in nobody's Walmart, but okay. She's trying to be with the common folk, but amen. Um, she was at Target, y'all. So I love that you said that, and I think that the world that we
Alicia.
live in, to what I transitioned too fast.
No, you're great.
Okay, I think the world we live in too with social media has given people a false sense of relationship, whether that's friendship, platonic, or romantic, right? And so people, because Facebook's set up and says you're your friend, everyone's friends.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
then you have this definition of if I just comment and like on your stuff, then we're friends.
Yep.
And then when something happens, oh man, if you're finding out through Facebook,
Yes.
I feel like we really may not be as much of a friend as we think we are.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, all of those who found out about me getting married through Facebook, don't judge me. I just wasn't telling y'all. Now, um, I did call and text sisters.
Mm-hmm.
That did happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think that the world we live in, because of that, and because of people seem so close yet so far, because they're
Mm-hmm.
just a message away, or
Yep.
you send a DM. Like people I know, we send a DM. It's like I may reply
Mm-hmm.
this week,
Mm-hmm. Right.
or they see you posting, so they try to hurry up and put something, but it's not really you interacting and being involved on social media like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they know you, if you know me, then you're in my phone. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like you're texting me, you're calling me. So I think identifying what friends are and how that looks, who are your friends, and then understanding that people get to the level of becoming your sister,
Yeah.
and that it shouldn't be and it will not be everyone.
Yep.
And so I always just use the word hey sis like this, in passing, but like people who are my sisters know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that if we call or text and haven't talked in months or weeks, or we talk every day for 1 week, it doesn't matter. Like our relationship doesn't change
Right.
because we constantly keep in touch. We constantly are hitting, in and out, but
Yep.
life be life, and we're doing stuff,
Yeah.
you know, and the more involved and the more friends you have that are actually making an impact in their community, you guys are busy.
Yep.
And so you have to send smoke signals, like Shirley said,
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, trying to make sure you're still alive. Okay.
Yeah.
You waited too long. Give me an update. So I think that's important, and gives a great explanation on how to build a tribe.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give a shout out to all the people on Instagram. I'm sorry, y'all have been joining and I haven't shouted out all your names,
Hey,
but
Abby.
thank you guys. Thank you so much. Um, so when building a tribe, because I want to give some takeaways to the women before we wrap up. But
Mm-hmm.
how can a woman today start building her tribe of women, or sisters? Because she may have friends. She may be outgoing. She may be a person who stays at home.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, like how can you start building your tribe today?
Um, I would say if you looked in your phone and saw the two or from 2 to 5 women that you text every single day, that's your tribe right there. And then within that friend group, really sift through it and see, you know, who are you texting because you want to, and who you texting because you feel like you have to.
Mm,
And we have those friends. It's like, girl, let me, so she won't blow my phone up. Let me,
yeah.
that's what we're, and then there's those friends where it's like, she's been on my mind. I
Hmm.
really want to know. She reached out last week and she's had grace. She's given me some grace. So let me reach back. And so it's just from childhood of those people pleasing and all of that other stuff. Let that stuff go when you're looking for the women that you don't mind having around your husband.
Mm,
That's a that you don't mind having around your partner. The that you don't mind saying, "I'm going out of town. Can you watch my house?"
Hmm.
Those are your sisters, the people that you say, I'm going to put you down as an emergency contact, or
Right.
I'm going to make sure my parents have your phone number when I come to see you, or I know you're coming. Please stay at my house, Delisha.
Hmm.
Just, I know you're going to be in Atlanta, sis. Just come through. Just get here. Those are your people. When they say just get here and I got
Yeah.
you,
Hmm.
those are your people. Don't worry about it. Those are your people. Sis, I'm praying for you. Those are your people. Sis, thank you. Because we don't feel like the closer you get to people, the more they feel like they don't have to say thank you. And I appreciate
Mm.
you and you're welcome. And
I
those
like
are all, those are no buenos for me. That's a quick
right.
way for me to be like, you don't even appreciate me in this moment for the things that I bring to the table. They must appreciate what you bring to the table. And if you go through that, you know already. There's some people that you can say, oh, I should have deleted this. You know already who the tribe is already in place. It's your awareness that is missing.
Yeah. Come on here. The tribe is in place. Is your awareness that's missing? I didn't say it. Shirley did. So get your awareness up. Um, but yeah, we definitely need that because awareness is so powerful. Even when just being in therapy and stuff and saying, being self aware keeps you out of and away from a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then being more aware of those people that are around you and in your circle, as Shirley said, is needed. So
Mm-hmm.
get your tribe, start vetting and seeing who's in your phone and who you're close to, and then
Mm-hmm.
start moving accordingly. And I think we'll have better lives. We will have better excitement. We'll have other opportunities. People that are going to be 100 with you. There's people I've known longer than Shirley, but Shirley may be closer to me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And Shirley don't play no games. I know I can call Shirley if I want an honest feedback, honest opinion. I'm going to call Shirley. If I want somebody to just blow my head up, I'm gonna call somebody else. I'm not gonna say their
Yeah.
names. But I have more. There's other friends that are like Shirley too, but they're gonna say it in love and be like, because I love you, I want to allow you to go out looking like that, or
Mm-hmm.
don't do that again, or when you did this, because it's only to make me a better person,
Yeah.
right? Is they wanted me to get to the best version of myself. You're leery of people who are always criticizing, right? But
Yeah.
you and how they say it, right?
Yes.
Because how someone says it to you tells them you a lot about them. But
Yes.
when someone takes the time to say, because I love you, I want to, you know, this time next time you should probably try it this way and see how it turns out, or do
Mm-hmm.
this or give that advice. As always, you can identify people too. You have just eat some salad, you leave salad in there on purpose and see
Yeah.
who tells you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately, some people who we call friends are not going to say anything.
And it's not the first time. But again, what's missing is our awareness.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
Shirley, thank you so much for being here. I don't like to be on all night.
Yes.
um
Thank you, Delisha, for having me.
Sisters, Let's Connect has been awesome. It's been brought to you none other than Shirley Gore, who's in Los Angeles at this moment, I think. It's like, where in the world is Shirley Gore? Okay, that's what I say when I call her. Even if I know, I just still say, where in the
Yes.
world is Shirley Gore? Because she could have went somewhere overnight. And that's how she moves,
I'm
guys.
just trying to spread the good
The
news.
good news. I spread the good news. I'm in Mexico. What weather? I'm trying to check on you. I heard it was a storm up there. And she's
I'm
like,
back.
oh, child, I'm at the beach. What snow? So I'm glad we were able to get her in between her journey.
Thank you, Delisha.
But Shirley, before you go, if you could say a prayer over the women who need a tribe, who are looking for a tribe, and they have associates, they have friends, but they really need sisters in this season of their life. So if you could pray for them, and then we would tell everybody how to get in touch with you, and if you want them, whatever social media and things you want to share.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do the social media so we can just close out in prayer.
Okay.
You can find me on Instagram at Shirley Shirley underscore Gore Gore.
Mm-hmm.
Shirley Gore on Facebook as well. Um, so just stay tuned. I have a nonprofit called Go Back and Get Your Sisters, where we are currently in the process of signing paperwork to have our first brick and mortar in LA.
Woo-hoo.
God is really
Exciting.
doing some wonderful things which will allow us to impact the community a bit more in Crenshaw and the Slauson area. So, um,
My old trap area a little bit.
yes,
My old trap
it
area.
is literally your old trap area. You enjoy joy. Um,
Yes.
if we could just bow our heads and humble our hearts. God, we come to you with bowed heads and humble hearts, just saying thank you. Thank you for who you are and what you're doing in our lives. God, I ask that you forgive us for anything that we may have said or done that was not pleasing to you or in your sight. God, we are just striving to be more like you each and
Yes.
every day. And we thank you for just holding our hands and dispatching your angels of grace and mercy in our lives. God, I pray for every woman that is within the sound of my voice and any woman that is connected to her and that is connected to her. And I pray for her heart and her mind right now, God. I ask that you remove anything that is stopping her from being her most effective, most
Yes.
beautiful, most amazing self, God. And I ask that you replace it with your grace, with your mercy, with your love. Let her know that through you, all things are possible, God. I ask that you remove anything that is causing her to be stagnant, that is causing her to have low self-esteem, God. And I ask that you allow her to see herself the way that you see her. God, we thank you in advance for the doors that are being flung open on her behalf. God, I ask that you give her the shoes, give her the backbone, give her the suit, give her the essence to wear the things that she needs to wear to walk into those rooms to be who you have called her to be. So, God, I dispatch all of your angels of grace and mercy all over the women, all over the world. God, we thank you for the seeds that have been planted through Delisha as she touches these women's lives, and as Sister Let's Connect begins to be all over the world. God, we thank you for Go Back and Get Your Sisters. We thank you for the pending businesses that are in the birthing stage, God. We thank you for who you are and how you are moving in our lives. We count it joy, and there will be testimonies by the end of this week. In Jesus' name, amen.
In Jesus' name, amen. Well, thank you guys for joining. As Shirley said, you can find her on Facebook at Shirley Gore and then on Instagram at Shirley underscore Gore underscore. And I typed that out because
Thank you.
people may find somebody else and be like, that's not Shirley.
Thank you, Delisha.
Shirley's hair is amazing.
Oh,
I love it.
thank you.
It may be something different next month, guys. So get her, follow her now before you not know who she is. Okay.
In Jesus' name. I
I
love
love
you,
you,
Delisha.
sister. Thank you so much for coming. Love you
Love
all for
you.
joining. Thank you. Have a wonderful night. Bye bye.
Peace.